So I'm going to tell you guys what honestly went through my head when I realized that Donald Trump was the winner of the 2024 election. I just didn't make this video immediately because I was so mad that I knew I would spiral, go completely off the rails, and it wouldn't be productive for anybody. But the first thought that went through my head was, well, they sold out their daughter's future for a carton of eggs. That's the first thought that went through my mind. They took a look at everything going on in the world. They took a look at all of the people in their lives that a second Trump presidency could affect, and they chose to choose the grocery bill over their daughter, over their gay family member, over their trans family member, over friends that would be affected by a second Trump presidency. They looked at all of that and they said, we would rather have a cheaper grocery bill. We don't care if you guys get deported. We don't care if you bleed out in a hospital bed. We don't care if you end up in a jail cell, because the price of eggs, and when I go through the drive-thru at McDonald's, that's more important to me than you are. That's what they said. Now, some people will say, well, you're being a little bit too harsh, but no, that's exactly how that people feel looking at the ones who was willing to sell them out. I'm not going to play clips of these hateful assholes, but for those of you that know who Nick Fuentes is, he's on there just absolutely flexing and bragging about the fact that it's your body and it's my choice. Donald Trump has, and we've always talked about how he empowered the absolute worst of humanity, but all the people that sold us out for the grocery bill, they empowered the worst of humanity, and now those people are online bullying people, rubbing things in people's face, telling people how that men are saying to women, it's your body, it's my choice, and they're laughing in their face. So what these guys did that voted for Trump because of the grocery bill, they voted to allow a man to say those kind of things to their daughter. They voted to allow a man to look at their daughter and say that I am going to make your medical decisions, not you. And they voted for a man that said he would protect their daughters, because the truth of the matter is they weren't man enough to protect them themselves. As we go forward, I've said this, as we go forward, things are going to eventually catch up to them. And when it does, I don't know if they will ever have the realization moment that they cut their nose off to spite their own face. But when that moment happens to them, I won't have a single ounce of compassion. And the reason why that I won't is because I thought better of people. I thought that people would have the basic common decency to not be okay with stripping away their daughter's future. There's so many people that I know that will go around and say, man, I got nothing against gay people. My son's gay. Well, do you know what you said to your son? You said to your son that the grocery bill was more important than he was. You tried to pass it off like, well, I like Trump's policy. I have nothing against you, when Trump's policy will absolutely affect your gay son. If you have a trans person in your family and you say, hey, listen, I'm not like them. I support you. I'm for you. Don't listen to them. I'm for you. Well, you voted to make their lives even harder. You voted for them to live in constant fear for at least the next 4 years. And to be dead honest with you, we're probably stuck with Donald Trump. He's never going to leave. So you've wished a lifetime of nothing but fear on them. When Christmas dinner rolls around, Thanksgiving dinner rolls around, and you're sitting there with your family members, and it's either A, really quiet, or B, some of them didn't show up, it's because when they look at you, they see that you were willing to sell them out for a carton of eggs. That's what it is. And you can sit back and say that you're not racist. You can sit back and say that you're not homophobic, or that you don't have anything against trans people. And you can even say that you're for people coming here legally. You're perfectly okay as long as they come legally. You can say all of those things you want to, but your vote said the exact opposite. And the people that it's going to affect sees that it says the exact opposite. And that's why they want nothing to do with you going forward. It's not as simple as, well, some likes Trump, some like tariffs, some likes Democrats, some like Republicans. I still love you. It's not that simple, because what you did was vote against their interest. You voted to make their lives harder. And you did it all because the grocery bill got high, and because you don't understand how basic economics works. You don't understand, you sure as hell don't understand how tariffs work. You think that Donald Trump can get in there and he's going to wave this magic wand and make everything better on day one. Well, who are you going to blame when he don't? Who are you going to blame then when he don't? When is the flex finally going to slowly stop and you look around and you go, hey, wait, yeah, we just not only voted against our own interests, but this is why that our families won't speak to us anymore. This is why our friends don't respond to our messages anymore. It's because this flex you're doing and thinking you had it all figured out. See there? The economy, what it was, man. We tried to tell you. We tried to tell you it was the economy. We tried to tell you that's what it was. What you really told us was what you thought about us, and what you thought of women, what you thought of your daughter. And you look up to a man who, at the end of the day, whether you realize it or not, hates you. This guy hates you. He's never cared about you. He would not wipe his nose on your Sunday best. You are a peon in his world. And he said, I will protect the women whether you like it or not, or whether they like it or not. And you're standing there saying, yeah, let this guy protect my wife. This guy will do it. This guy who was found guilty of sexual abuse and liable of sexual abuse, and he defamed the victim. This guy, yeah, we'll let him be in charge. This guy that's obviously been one of Epstein's closest friends, and no matter how many receipts we bring about Epstein, it only counts with Epstein if a Clinton's name is involved. But it doesn't matter what evidence or what audio leaks of Jeffrey Epstein. You guys aren't going to ever say anything, because it was never about that. It was never about that. All you want to do is be able to pin down a Democrat and say, got you. I got you. But you never want to take that long look in the mirror and realize that he got you, that he played you. And if my platform is still standing here when the dust settles from all of this, and anyone reaches out to me and says, hey, Brando, man, I was wrong about that. Sorry, brother. I'm just going to send you a link to my YouTube channel and say, go back and do your homework, you stupid son of a bitch. That's what I will say. Because it was right in front of you. It was right in front of you. We sat here and we brought the receipts and we tried to show people that Donald Trump was a terrible human being. It didn't matter to them. They didn't care. We showed them everything that he done. We brought the evidence. We put it in front of everyone's face. We brought audio and video of him saying and doing the things that we were saying he was doing. It wasn't that we was pulling it out of our ass. It wasn't that we were just, mad at him and wanting to be mean to him or persecute him. It was none of those things. It was because everything we were ever taught about morals, about decency, everything we were ever taught about American government and American democracy was being threatened like never before, and was right in front of us, and we were seeing it, and we were trying to point to it and say, do you not see what's coming right at you? Were you asleep during history class? Were you asleep during Sunday school? Did you nod off during all of that? Because now when I look back at it, I really don't think that any of you cared about American history or American democracy. And it's clear that you only used religion as a scapegoat to say, I go to church on Sunday, I'm a good guy, leave me alone. But you never actually got in there and read it. And let me say this, I know that the Republican Party is the party of our grandfathers. It's the party of my grandfathers. Both my grandfathers was Republicans. I know for a fact that if they had have been alive and I had have been a kid and I would have acted like Donald Trump, I would have got backhanded in my teeth. If I had have said what I wanted to see happen to American democracy to my grandfather, who went to World War II, drove a D9 dozer, and pushed bodies into, came through and cleaned up the war zones, if I said it to that man, he would backhand me in my teeth. So it's not as simple as, well, we just liked his policies, man. We were struggling. We had nothing against you. No, you had everything against us, and you didn't have the balls to go ahead and say it out loud. You know what? At least the Nick Fuenteses of the world, at least those guys just goes ahead and wears a symbol on their arm and just says their racism straight out loud and don't mix words. At least they have the guts to do that, and that's disgusting. But you don't even have the guts to just go ahead and say it all the way out loud because you want to try to keep peace at Thanksgiving. But at Thanksgiving, your daughter is going to be looking at you, and all of your family who was affected by this is going to be looking at you saying, he sold us out for a carton of eggs. And he agrees with this guy and with these hate groups because he never once stood up against it. He never said anything about it. He went for it. And he sold us out. So if you're scratching your head a couple of years from now wondering why no one's speaking to you, it's because you spoke loud and clear to them.